Welcome everybody on the webinar tonight. It's gonna be a fantastic call today. I'm gonna be sharing a bunch of good stuff with you today. Let's see. Welcome. As we're letting people kind of jump in. Welcome everybody. Let's see. Perfect. Here we go. All right. So, like I said, can you guys hear me really fast? Can you guys throw in the Q&A? Can you guys hear me? It's like yes or no. That'd be awesome. If you can, great. Okay. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Good. Awesome. Just want to make sure. Okay. So the goal of today is, I posted in the community earlier today, and I had a few things that I had in mind that I wanted to touch on, right? But I also wanted to open up to you guys, and I wanted to hear, what do you guys want to hear, right? Like what will benefit you guys, okay? Because I could share about whatever, right? But sometimes, just getting some more personal insight of like saying like, hey, this is something that I want to talk more about. I want to hear your thoughts on it. So, somebody, I can't remember who it was. I mean, I can tell you guys in 2 seconds. Pat, Pat, I don't know if you're on yet. Maybe you are. Let me see. Yeah, here you go. Pat said that he wants to talk more, like he wants to talk about practicing healthy sexuality. He said he's heard of it on the podcast episode, but wants to hear about it, more from my standpoint and what that looks like. Um, my opinion's not too special, but I'm open to sharing with you guys. Another thing, by the way, if you guys have any questions along the way for the next, 30 minutes or so, it might be a little bit of a shorter of a webinar, but that's totally fine with me. Use the Q&A, okay? Use the Q&A, ask questions if you need. I'm here for you. Um, but anyway, we'll just jump right in. There is a does anybody have any questions before we start? I guess I should probably give like 30 seconds before I move on. Anybody have any questions or anything that you want to share with us? Okay, perfect. If you do have questions, you know where to go. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna talk about healthy sexuality today. We're gonna talk about it in a way that might be a little bit different than what you've heard before, because every single person and their standpoint on healthy sexuality is completely different, right? Like my vision and my version of what healthy sexuality looks like might be different than, let's pull some people up, than Mark's idea of that or Nick's idea of that, right? um and so it's really cool to recognize that, having creating your own idea of what healthy sexuality looks like in your life can go a long way and can give you a really solid foundation and a really solid baseline to move forward with. Okay. So welcome everybody as you're jumping in. Welcome. So I'm going to touch on it really briefly. We'll talk some questions and we'll go from there. But I want to share with you guys a quick story really fast, okay? Um, and if you've heard this story, bear with me. If you haven't yet, I'm going to post the podcast episode that you can find it in as well, okay? So this story goes like this. There's this village, and every single time a villager turns 12 or 13 years old, they get this tiger, okay? They get this tiger. Raise your hand if you guys have heard this story before, the tiger analogy. Okay, good. Um, and this tiger comes around when you turn 12 or 13. And some people are like, oh my gosh, be careful. Like this tiger is, it can really destroy you. It can really hurt you. It's very dangerous. Okay, be careful when you turn 12 or 13. So you grow up thinking, oh my gosh, this tiger is so dangerous and it's scary, right? Birthday comes, you turn 12. Okay. Tiger shows up, and now you have to live with this tiger for the rest of your life. Okay. And you've been raised with this idea that this tiger is scary and dangerous and mean. Okay. And so what you decide to do is put it in a cage. You just put it in a cage and you leave it unattended, and you kind of just try to live your years with this tiger in a cage, right? Eventually, a couple years go by without, you giving it much attention, not giving it food and water, eventually you're going to get to this point where the tiger gets really frustrated and really angry, right? And starts to maybe cause some havoc, right? Among the villagers. So it continues to try to tear down the fence that you've built up. So you decide to, instead of just letting this tiger loose, you decide to continue to build it, and you stay up late nights and you try to continue to build this fence so it doesn't get out, right? And that can be so overwhelming, right? It can be so overwhelming to continue to try to board up this tiger and try to keep it away, right? As you're I mean, you're at your wits end here, and you're so tired and so frustrated that you can't get this tiger to calm down. One day, this super old guy, oldest relative, okay, some wise old guy comes into the village and has his tiger, and his tiger is just walking right next to him. Okay, his tiger's walking right next to him. It's very tame, it's very calm, and it almost seems as a protector to this older, wiser gentleman. Okay, and you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, how in the world did this older guy? How did he? How does he have this tiger and it's not like trying to destroy him, right? And so you go up to him and you say, hey, what did you do to make this tiger tame and walk by your side without trying to claw down your fence and try to kill everybody in the village, right? And he said, I took the time to love, to nurture, and enjoy my time and my experience with this tiger when I got him. Okay, now sit with that for a minute, and I want you guys to kind of think of some connections, okay, that you can use before I finish the story. Okay, think of some connections that you guys can link this analogy thus far with you and your healthy sexuality, overcoming pornography for good, what that looks like to you, right? Think about it. Okay, think about it. So you take this gentleman's wise advice and you say, okay, I'm gonna tame this tiger. It might be scary at first, right? And then maybe you're probably not gonna all of a sudden take the whole fence down of this tiger you've been trying to tame, right? Because then that could be really scary, right? And be out of control. Okay, but your tiger, or the wise old guy says, hey, board by board, just start to take down the fence and love and talk to this tiger. Years go by, or months or weeks, okay, whatever suits best for you with this analogy. Time goes by, and now you have this tiger that used to at one point be scary, destructive, and dangerous, is now your protector and is now very tame and is standing at your guard and is ready to help you when needed. Okay? This exact same thing applies to what your healthy sexuality is capable of doing. Okay? Not the destructive side, but this side that can help lead you and help build connection and protect you. Okay? Any questions so far before I kind of keep sharing a little bit? Any questions? Make sure y'all are doing all right. Okay. Awesome. So, like I said, this tiger is now at your side. It's protecting you, and you love it. You love this tiger. The tiger loves you. Okay. The same idea applies with creating your own version of what healthy sexuality looks like to you. Okay. Because not every single tiger that every single person in the village has is going to be the exact same. Okay. But the idea behind it is the same, right? Creating healthy sexuality for you. And what that looks like. Okay. Whether you're single or you have a fiance, girlfriend, wife, whoever, right? Your significant other, right? Um, your version of healthy sexuality is going to get portrayed off onto that said person or yourself, okay? And it's what we do with that version of what healthy sexuality looks like, which will then create our environment around it, okay? And our belief system around what healthy sexuality looks like, right? So if I believe that healthy sexuality is used for good, if I believe that it is a normal part of the human experience, if I believe that it is used for connection and love with myself and others, okay? In that way, I'm going to start to build this idea that, hey, you know what? It's okay that I'm overcoming this for good, and I know that I can do this, and I know that this healthy sexuality with this foundation that I've created will help me get to where I want to be. Okay. But on the other side, right, if you have this vision of what healthy sexuality looks like, and you think it's only bad, right? It's horrible that we have this even desire to be sexual with significant others or whoever, right? It's going to be really hard to all of a sudden find connection and understand what that looks like to you, right? So it's really important to recognize that healthy sexuality is something that is very unique. So when people always ask me, say, well, what does healthy sexuality look like? It's like, okay, let's pause on that question for a minute, okay? Let's create a baseline for you first. Okay, we have to figure out what your belief system or what your values line with. Okay, once we get that down, it makes it so much easier to answer that question for yourself. Okay, in the program, we have 7 milestones. Okay. And one of the milestones is literally called healthy sexuality. And there's tons of videos, tons of worksheets. The whole 9 yards. It is awesome. Okay. So people in the program will always ask me, like, hey, what does that look like though? Like, what is this healthy sexuality supposed to look like? It's like, that's a great question. You got to answer that for yourself. Okay. For myself, it might be different than Mark or who else is in this, or Nick or Pat, or, um, it's something that you have to figure out for yourself. Okay. So that's what we're going to be doing for the next 10 minutes. Okay. I want you guys to get a pen and pad out. Okay. Think to or your phone. Yeah. You can grab your phone if you want. Um, and I want you guys, I'm going to give you guys some questions. I want you guys to answer them as truthfully as you can. Okay. You don't have to share. It's not what we're doing here. If you want to share, you can, right? To give some other people some prompts. But we're going to create this vision for yourself of what healthy sexuality looks like for yourself. Okay. And the way we're going to do that is through some questions. You got to write them down. You guys got it. Okay. Anybody have any questions about that? You guys feeling okay? Give me some thumbs up. Throw in the chat. Feeling okay? Good, bad, indifferent? What? What are you feeling? Is that okay with you guys? Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So this exercise is something that I do in the program. Like, so I host a few group coaching calls in the program. Other coaches obviously host calls there as well. And so this is an exercise that we like to do to give yourself a vision of what that looks like for you, creating this foundation. Okay. Because if you have this foundation of what healthy sexuality looks like, okay, you can base every other thing that you learn in the program or reading books or articles or podcasts. You can base everything else off of this value system or this belief system that you have around healthy sexuality. Okay. So it's really cool. It's really, really cool. All right. Okay. There's 3 questions we're going to be asking. I'm going to be asking. Okay. So kind of list them 1, 2, 3. Give yourself a decent amount of space so you can kind of write them down. I'm going to give you guys like a minute, maybe 2 minutes per question. Okay. You guys can write them down as in detail as you want. Okay. So this first question, this one's actually, it's pretty straightforward, pretty short of an answer, but this is the first question. Where do you want your healthy sexuality to be? Okay. I'm not saying this is what you have to believe right now. Okay. Because you've probably conditioned yourself for X amount of years to believe one certain way about what your healthy sexuality looks like. But let's just play in like the world of just maybes for a minute. Okay. World of maybes. What would it look like for you? Okay. What would it look like? What would you be feeling about yourself? What would your connections look like with yourself and others around this? Okay. Go ahead and write it down. We'll give you a minute and a half. Welcome to you guys, by the way, as we're jumping in, we're talking about healthy sexuality. Get out a pen and pad and we're gonna do a couple questions to give this vision to yourself of what healthy sexuality looks like. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Okay, and as you're wrapping up, if you haven't finished all the way, give yourself some space so you can come back and write in the rest of it. But go ahead and share in the Q&A. You can be anonymous if you want. I won't say names. I'll just kind of read it off. But I'm interested. What are some ideas or some thoughts that you've come up with in the Q&A? Go ahead and share them with me. Looks like nobody wants to share. That's okay. That's fine. If you want to share, I'd love to hear it from you. Okay, so once you guys have finished with that first question, give yourself some space and we'll go on to the next one. Okay. This next question is going to be if you are at this place, okay, if you're in this vision of what healthy sexuality looks like, and let's say you were there, okay, what would be different now then? Like, what would be different if you were there than right now? What would be the difference there? Okay, giving yourself some contrast between the two. It's like a prompt could be, right now, this is where I am. Bleh. Throw that out there, right? And if I was in this place, what I listed earlier, this is what I'd be, right? Bleh. Throw it up. Okay? Give yourself another 2 minutes with that one. Awesome, awesome. Okay. Sorry, I may be a little bit fast. Sorry. Okay. If you haven't finished, that's okay. Give yourself a little bit of space and you can skip down to the next one. Okay. This last question's super easy. Okay. Super easy. I wouldn't say easy. Short. It's a short answer. This third question goes like this. What? Wait. So, there's just gonna be three questions. So yeah, just give yourself like three spaces and then you'll be able to go from there. Good? Okay. Perfect. All right. So anyway, this third question is like this, okay? How do I want to phrase it? Do you think that you can achieve this vision of what healthy sexuality looks like to you? Okay. Like I said, pretty short answer. But I want to give you guys some hope here, okay? That this vision that you've created of what healthy sexuality looks like, what you'd be experiencing with yourself, what your connections would look like, what your emotions would be, giving yourself some hope and saying like this is possible, like I can do this, right? And then I want you to list a few ways. So like yeah, you could say something like, hey, I know that I can do this, and I know that I can create this vision for myself that can align with me. Okay. And these are the tools that can help me. Okay. You could say continue to listen to the podcast, jump into the program, right? Some things like that. All right. Kind of I'll give yourself another minute and a half for that one. Okay. Yes, yeah, Josh, for sure. So the last question, I appreciate, by the way, I appreciate you speaking out because, yeah, I appreciate you. So this last question is, um, do you believe that it is possible to achieve this vision that you've created for yourself of what healthy sexuality looks like? Do you think you can shift your belief into that? It's a pretty short answer, right? Yes or no, right? But I want you can give yourself some reasons why. But then I also want you to follow that question up with, and these are the things that I can do to continue to hone in on what healthy sexuality looks like for you, right? And it could be continuing to listen to, podcasts or read some books about it, or join the program and really deep dive into what it looks like for you, right? Does that kind of make sense, Josh? Maybe. Yes, thank you. Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want you to. Yeah, okay, good. I'll give yourself, yeah, Josh, I'll give you 45 seconds. All right. So now you got those three questions. I want you to kind of look at it. Okay. I want you to take a look at it. Read through those three questions or those three answers that you had. Okay. Read through them. Do you believe that that's actually like that? That's truly possible, right? And I know that's on the third question, right? But look at it and kind of just reflect on yourself. Okay. What's stopping you from believing that? What's stopping you from continuing to become this version of yourself where your values and your beliefs align with your vision of what healthy sexuality looks like? What's stopping you, right? And the thing is there's nobody really stopping you, right? I always love to use this idea of it's like let's make 20, and this is broadly speaking, right? But you can do it with really anything. It's like why not make 2025 your year, right? Like to become the best person you can be, to overcome pornography for good, or to create this vision that's beautiful along with, what your sexuality looks like, okay? Does that make sense? Okay. Does anybody have any questions about that? Any thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, ideas? Anything? Okay. Just like that young kid in the village who just got a new tiger, okay? Every single one of us has our own tiger, okay? Everybody's is different, right? But understanding and loving this part of you that is normal and natural, loving that and understanding it and taking care of it is where you're going to thrive. I promise you. Okay. It's going to be really cool to recognize this idea that the more care and the more love I put towards myself and in my certain beliefs that I have about myself, the more connection you're going to have with yourself, the more love you're going to have towards yourself and for other people. Okay. The more respect you're going to have for yourself will grow. Okay. All of these beautiful things are going to continue to increase once you start to love and care and nurture for certain beliefs that you have. Okay. Or don't have. Right. So you guys want you to kind of take that, run with it, see what happens. Okay. I also want you guys to share your thoughts about it, okay? On the community board, okay? Share them with us. I promise you, all of it, myself, Sarah, Jeremy. I think Jeremy's on the call actually. What's up, man? Good to see you. Um, Everybody that is here, we're here to love and support you, right? So if you have any questions about, hey, man, I'm kind of confused on this, like text us, okay? Because we've got content we can send you, okay? We've got podcasts that we can send your way, okay? And we want to help you the very best we can. All right. Jeremy's here. He is an absolute stud. He hosts the what are they called? Breakthrough calls, right? If you guys haven't jumped on a breakthrough call yet, I encourage you to do so. They're awesome. I promise you, they're so good. There's he Jeremy comes about this way of full of love and support and wants nothing but the best for you, right? So if you're curious about, how to get into the program, if you're curious about what's the next best step for you to overcome pornography for good, whether that's in the program or not, right? Jeremy's there to help you. Okay. So use the resources that we've provided. Okay. I'm also going to tomorrow, think it'll be tomorrow. I'm gonna send in. There's two podcast episodes that talk all about healthy sexuality. Okay, part one and two. I think it's like 177 and 178 or something like that. But I'm gonna send them into the community tomorrow. So keep your eyes peeled for those. Okay. Does anybody have any questions at all? I know this was a way shorter call than normal, but I feel like it was very beneficial. If nobody has any questions, we can go ahead and jump off. But I want to make sure everybody has their questions answered that needed. You guys feeling all right? Okay. Awesome, awesome. It's been so great to chat with you guys. If you do have any questions, message me or Jeremy on the school community app or on your phone or wherever you use it. We're gonna help you the best we can. I hope to see you like the full program. Getting the coaching you need, learning everything you need to know on how to overcome pornography for good, me being right there with you along with the other coaches helping you down the mountain of working how to overcome this for good, right? Not just me telling you how to do it, right? Because I could do that all day. The application piece is what's key, right? Applying what you learn is where you're going to find a lot of success. Okay. And one last tip that I want to give you guys, I give this to all of my clients, okay, is this idea that when you're looking at the or when you are working through the podcast or learning something that, resonates with you, I want you to pause the podcast, close the book, turn off your phone the second you hear something that you could apply. Okay. The second you hear something that you could apply that can help you along your healing journey, I want you to pause whatever you're doing and apply it. Okay. The worst thing that you could possibly do is hear 30 different things that you could apply. You're probably not going to apply any of them, right? Because you got so much stuff and it's really overwhelming, right? So, one tip for you, anything you hear, listen to, or read that can help you along your way, pause and apply. Okay. Might go a long way. Okay. Let me know how that goes. But with that being said, we'll go ahead and jump off today. Have a fantastic call. It's been absolutely incredible. Does anybody have any questions before we jump off? Feeling pretty good? Okay. Awesome. Awesome. We'll call it a night. Like I said, reach out if you need. Have a fantastic weekend.